Hey, are you a high achiever who struggles with perfectionism? Do you get stuck in the cycle of overthinking? Do you do everything for everyone else because you think otherwise it won't get done? Do you feel like you should come with a disclaimer? Hi, I'm anxious. Hey, I'm Katy. Full disclosure, I'm not a therapist, doctor, or mental health professional. I'm just a career mama who also struggles with anxiety. For me, anxiety reared its head at the most inconvenient times when I wanted to be present with my family, at those high pressure business meetings, when I was laying in bed awake at night worrying instead of sleeping. I just wanted to relax and be able to have fun, and I know that you do too. What if you found tools to manage your anxiety? What if you knew how to enjoy life even though you are anxious? Look, it's time to put down that third cup of coffee and swap it for some lemon water. We're going to get control over anxiety so it can stop controlling you. Let's go, girl. Beautiful, sweet soul. Welcome to the Hi, I'm Anxious podcast. I'm really grateful when you spend time with me. It is the reason that I'm here to support, encourage, connect with, inspire, educate, and just be in community with incredible, wonderful women just like you. So thank you for being here. Speaking of community, if you are not already a member of my free Facebook group, I'd really love for you to come and join. It is a community just for you. It's a place where I want to connect with you and see you connect with other women in the group. It's a place where I go to help you deepen your learnings from the podcast. I'm very intentional about putting out content each week that is in line with the podcast as a teaching so that you can practice the learnings and try them out in various ways in your life, because it's really important for me for you to get something out of these interactions with me. Otherwise, why are we doing this, right? And also, it's really important for me to foster community because I feel so very strongly in the power of community and in the power of women supporting other women. And that is one of my biggest goals with doing the work that I do is to support and encourage and connect with other women just like you. So please come join. The link to join the free Facebook group is in the show notes. And related to that, sweet soul, what I want to talk about today is the importance of being connected with yourself in order to connect with others. And I think that as individuals who suffer from issues around being high achieving and driven in nature, and also struggling with anxiety or anxious tendencies and fears around um, life in general and doing the work we're doing, and are we good enough, and all of the things that we might be hard on ourselves about, it's really hard to get connected with yourself. If nothing else, then to find the time in your very, very busy and full life to do that. So today, I just want to sit and talk about some things I've been thinking about regarding highlighting the importance for myself and making time and space for intentionally connecting with myself so that I can then fulfill my heart's desire of connecting with others, my family, my friends, and you, sweet sister. So I want to think about some ways that you can connect with yourself, including grounding and centering. And I want to deepen that a little bit because you may be familiar with those terms and you may have done some practices around them. But I think it's really important to take intentional time to think about the options that you have available to you to connect with yourself and different ways that you can do it that are going to meet your needs in the moment or in the season of your life that you're in. So I think number one, emotional regulation is really important, and grounding and centering can help you to be emotionally regulated. Basically, that's helping you to be able to be in a space where you can manage your own emotions effectively so that you're not reacting to everything and you're more intentional in your interactions with yourself and with others and your responses to what's going on inside and outside of you. And I think that the important thing to note about this is that being able to emotionally regulate yourself creates space for you to be safe, both for yourself and with others. You could probably think of some individuals who have pretty good emotional regulation, and I'm guessing they're people that you feel good being in the presence of. Or I want you to think of moments where you have been emotionally regulated, and from that space, you've been able to have the types of interactions you want to have, live the life you want to live, enjoy your life, be present for others and help others. Again, all from a space of being emotionally regulated. Another thing that I want to talk about that I think is really important about being connected with yourself is being self aware enough so that you are being your authentic self. Because not only does being your authentic self and knowing your authentic self feel good and help you to act in alignment with your own purpose in life, your own values, your own mission, but it helps you to connect with others because you're being your authentic self. Just think of an interaction you've had with somebody who's disingenuous, not being authentic to who they are. It feels yucky, right? Like I can think of one interaction I had with somebody recently where they were talking about something, and all I could think about was how disingenuous their words sounded to me. I was having a hard time listening to them and even looking at them because this perception that I had that they were being disingenuous. And I think there were some reasons for that. But I want you to also notice that that is going to come across for others too. That if you're not being your authentic self, then you're not going to project that. And you're probably not going to be in an energetic space and posture for others to want to be connecting with you or to be able to connect with you well. So think about how being aware of your own true authentic self can foster that connection both internally and externally. I want to also talk a little bit about clarity and communication. So, communication is just so critical and it starts with ourselves, right? Getting to know our true selves, getting to know what it is that we want, being aware of our thoughts and feelings so that we are taking actions in alignment with our authentic selves and able to communicate that with our own selves in terms of processing, however you do that. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's literally talking things through out loud with yourself. I know recently, to give a specific example, I was working on something in my business and I was just having trouble settling on where to focus my time and attention. And what helped me in the moment was sitting down with a whiteboard and some sticky notes and markers and doing kind of a brain mapping exercise to just kind of get everything out of my head onto paper in front of me so that I could then focus my time and energy on those things that I felt were the most priority in the moment. And that was really helpful for me to get clear. And then in turn, what that helped me to do was better serve my clients. I was able to come back to my clients and go, okay, here's where we're going next. This is what you have hired me to do. Here's the plan. Here's how we're going to move forward in that. And I could tell that they reacted to that sort of clarity and confidence that I was projecting, and it helped put them at ease too. So I want you to think about how being connected to yourself and being centered and grounded in yourself can help you to create really clear communication both with yourself and those outside of you. And lastly, when it comes to being connected to yourself, grounded and centered so that you can be in community both with yourself and with others, I want you to think about boundaries. And I think that this is something that we can really struggle with as high achievers who have anxiety, but knowing very clearly your own self, your needs, your wants, your preferences, your limitations, your ability to push yourself into what limits, that is going to help you set healthy boundaries, both with yourself and with others. So, let me give a concrete example of how this might help you in connection with yourself and others. So, I know if I am not prioritizing good sleep, there's no way I'm going to be connecting well with myself and others. And so I make that an absolute priority. I practice good sleep hygiene. I make sure to talk with my husband so that he can support me in that and I can make it work within the context of my larger family for myself. So, um, I know that when I am well rested, I am so much better able to attend both internally to my own self and my thoughts and my feelings, and then conversely, externally with others. And also, it helps me to set better boundaries with others. When I know myself, I know my thoughts, I know my desires. I might just say to a client, look, this isn't going to work for me, but here's what is. Or, look, this won't work for me, but I need some time to think about what will, and I'm going to get back to you. And that is really important. And I think that people react well to clear, respectful boundaries, and it helps them to understand how they can interact with you. So I want you to be thinking about all of these things that I talked about today in terms of how you can connect first with yourself in order to connect with others. So becoming self-aware and being authentic, regulating your emotions and finding ways for yourself that work for yourself in the moment or in the season to do that. Being really clear in your communications and also setting healthy boundaries. Dear sweet soul, I feel like I could go on and on about this topic and it could be about 10 different episodes. But in keeping with my theme of making my episodes short, sweet, and actionable, I'm going to leave you there with this today. And I'm going to continue next week with some additional thoughts about this. I'd really love to know if this resonates for you. You can let me know that in a couple of different ways. You can scroll down an Apple Podcast and leave me a rating and review. You can email me at support@hiamanxious.com, or you can come join my free Facebook group and let me know there, because my purpose here is to serve you. I want you to live a life that is full of ease, joy, fun, healthy connections, both with yourself and others, so you can fulfill your purpose and live a life that feels really, really good to you, sweet soul, because you deserve that. You deserve more than to be a workhorse who achieves, who feels like an anxious bundle of nerves all the time. And that is my goal here, to be able to support you and encourage you in that journey of doing that for yourself. So, dear sweet soul, thank you so much for spending time with me today. Again, the link to join my free Facebook group is in the show notes. I would so love to have you there. I'm doing some really exciting things around connection with the community this month, and I'd love to have you join us. I've got some plans for bringing in some really fantastic speakers to our group to talk with us, and I'm doing one-on-ones right now to get to know people a little bit better. So if that is something that interests you, please, please come join. I'd love to have you there. Again, thanks for spending your precious time with me, dear sweet soul. Take really good care of yourself, and I can't wait to talk with you next week. Hey friend, thanks for being here. Did today's episode help you feel more in control of your anxiety? Did it inspire you to rest or relax? Or maybe it challenged you to really look at why anxiety is a part of your life? If so, I'd love to hear from you. If you would take 30 seconds, pause this episode, scroll down in Apple Podcasts, and leave me a review, I would be so grateful. See you next week. Disclaimer, I am not a medical professional, and this podcast is not providing therapy or medical treatment. Contents of the podcast are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare provider with your health questions and concerns.